everybody. In this video, we're going to talk about how to find the quartiles of a data set. So take 3 deep breaths and let's make this math easy. Okay, so in one of our earlier videos, we talked about how to find the median, which measures the center of the data. And the way you find the median is you list all of the data points in order, and then you find the data point that's in the middle. And if there's 2 data points in the middle, then you find the number that's in the middle of those by averaging them. So to find the quartiles, it's basically the same process as finding the median, except that you're going to find the median of the lower half of the data and the upper half of the data. So let's say, for example, we wanted to find the quartiles of this data set. Well, the first thing we need to do is to find the median so that we know where the halfway mark is for the data set. So we'd say, okay, well, if we just connect these outermost data points, and you can also count in, like if you don't like drawing these little arcs, that's also just fine. So it looks like the middle of my data set is exactly between 5 and 6. And so my median is going to be 5.5 because that's the number between 5 and 6. Then to find my first quartile, I'm going to find the median of just the lower half of the data. So I'm going to say, okay, well, what's in the middle of this lower half of the data? And it looks like there's a 2 in the middle. So my first quartile equals the number 2. Then to find my upper quartile, I would do the same thing, but with the upper half of the data. So if I find the middle of that data set, it looks like I have a 9 in the middle. And this is called the third quartile because essentially the quartiles and the median split the data up into quarters. So the median, we call it the median, but you could also think of it as being quartile 2 because it's the mark of going 2 quarters of the way through the data. And 2 quarters is the same thing as going halfway through the data. So that's how you find the quartiles of a data set. So why don't you guys try this one on your own, pause this video, and then restart it to see how I would solve it. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is list out our data set in order. So I have a 0, I have 2 1s, I have 2 2s, and a 3, and 2 4s, and a 5, and a 7, and a 9. So those are all my data points. And to find my quartiles, I first need to find my median because that will tell me where my halfway mark is. So I'm going to say, okay, well, I'll connect these until I get to the center. And it looks like 3 is my median. So that's the center of my data. And now I want to look at the lower half and the upper half and find out what is in the middle of those 2 halves. And in this case, the number 3 isn't going to be in the lower half or the upper half because it's kind of like halfway between both of them. So to find the quartile, I'm going to find the middle of these lower 5 numbers, which means that my first quartile is going to be a 1. Then to find my third quartile, I'll do the same thing with the upper half of the data. And that tells me that my third quartile is 5. So that's how you would solve a problem like this, where you have an odd number of data points. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I hope that you guys have a great day.